became a career firefighter with the Howard County Department of Fire and Rescue Service, the chief of the medical division, or EMS, the unofficial historian of the Howard County Department of Fire and Rescue Services. Over 65,000 digital images and newspaper articles, magazine articles, etc. EV 24-2. Today I'll be talking about a tradition that's been in the fire service for probably hundreds of years. And that tradition is the utilization of dogs, and specifically Dalmatians. Dalmatians have been part of the Firehouse teams for centuries. They've been known as coach dogs since the mid-1700s, when the carriage owners noticed the Dalmatians could calm horses at their destinations or scenes, etc. A couple other things about the Dalmatians. They've been around before actually fire engines and trucks, motorized vehicles. They were used when there's just horse-drawn apparatus. They just had a natural compatibility to calm horses in the station and calm horses at the scene of emergencies. They had a bonding technique in that they were able to bond with the horses and other Dalmatians. Clear paths. They were very good in escorting the fire engines to scenes of a fire. They had a great sense of smell, which would allow them to actually move towards and find the source of a fire when responding in the cities. Today, Dalmatians serve as mascots, but many firefighters still choose them as pets to honor their past. Actually, one example is the Los Angeles Fire Department keeps a young Dalmatian named Wilser on staff to help teach children how to stop, drop, and roll should their clothing catch on fire. So they are an excellent resource promoting the fire service. Back in the mid-70s, when I was stationed at Ellicott City, it was very important for us to do public relations and reach out to the community. And it's also very important for us to do public education, specifically to go to schools to promote fire service, fire safety, etc. Now, again, this is back in the 70s. We didn't have video cameras. We didn't have a lot of the recording devices that we have today, actually that I'm using right now. But back then, we did slide tape programs. And we had decided that we'd do a slide tape program of our two firehouses. And the taping would be led by our two dogs, Yogi and JR, and they would take a virtual tour through the fire station to show people, and specifically children, what it was like to be in the firehouse. So indeed, we did a slide tape program in 1977, and it sort of went as follows. We utilized our two different dogs. One was JR. JR was Junior, Yogi Jr., and Yogi himself. The image that we're looking at right now is the Bethany Fire Station, where JR was housed. And the other station we had was the Ellicott City Main Street Station, and that's where Yogi was. And as you can see, Yogi's right in the center of the picture between the two engines. We started the tour by welcoming and inviting our guests to the fire station. And we asked that they follow us through the fire station so we could take them on a tour to show them our daily activities within the fire station. One of the first things that we do in the fire station after we get to work and change into our work clothes is that we have to check on the apparatus. We have to make sure that the units are in running order, have gas, oil, water's in the water tank, etc. So that was very important. And as you see, Yogi has his overalls on, a wrench in his pocket, and an oily rag so that he can assure that the apparatus is in running order. Here we're checking out the back of the ambulance. You can see Yogi is assured that it's well stocked, it's clean, and is ready for the next call. In that particular station, we also have a boat. It's not for fishing, but it's for rescue. And again, that needs to be ready to roll at a moment's notice. The engine has to be gassed. All the equipment, lights, as you can see, need to be at the ready. So in case we need to rescue somebody from the water, we can do just that. And JR is ready to go. And you can see he has his fire coat on. Then we also have the fire engine. The hose, as you can see, is loaded correctly. That hose is laid from a fire hydrant and then laid to the scene of a fire so that the fire engine has plenty of water for the firefighters to fight fire. And as you can see, JR on top of the engine there has assured it's been stacked correctly, loaded correctly, and is ready for a call. And need to be ready to respond at any time, anywhere. As you see this image, JR is ready to fight fire. He has his fire coat on. He He has his breathing apparatus on, self-contained breathing apparatus. So once he arrives at the scene of a fire, he is ready to go into action. One of his favorite things is to drive the fire truck. And as you can see, he's in the driver's seat. He's ready to roll. He likes the lights on the fire engine, and he loves to blow that siren. After a fire call, especially if you use hose, the hose back in the day has to be dried. So we have to take the hose into a tower. They call it a hose tower. And we hook it on this rod that you see here, and it's lifted to the top of the hose tower where it stays for several days until it dries. And it looks like JR there is giving commands that it's ready to be hauled up the tower and ready to dry. Another piece of equipment that we have is a brush unit, a four-wheel drive unit that can go off-road through fields, woods, etc. It has water on it, and it allows us to get very close to field fires where a fire engine would otherwise not be able to travel. Now let's go to the other side of the station. Let's look at the living quarters where the firefighters live and sleep and eat. Each morning, the firefighters come in. One of the first places they will go to is the kitchen. They'll sit down and discuss, tell war stories or whatever, drink a cup of coffee, have a snack. You can see that JR there is getting ready to munch on something. And he has his cup of coffee or maybe hot chocolate there right in front of him. Now, just like you all kids that are watching this, when we finish eating, we've got to clean the dishes. This is no different here in the fire station. Their mother doesn't work there, so we have to clean the dishes. It's not something, as you can see, that JR likes to do, but it's part of the job. Another section of the fire station is the workshop. In case things break down or we got to repair items, we have to go to the workshop, find the appropriate tools. JR here is looking in the toolbox. He has to repair something, and he's looking for the correct tool. He has his rag in his pocket to wipe his paws in case they get greasy or dirty. But this is an important part of the fire station, have a good workshop with tools that can repair items. And it looks like JR has found the tool that he needs and is trying to reach out to get that tool so that he can repair something within the fire station. We also have the radio room. This is where emergency calls come in. We have the radios that you can see in back of JR. The red phone is just that, a red phone where emergency calls will come in, that we pick up the phone and communications will tell us where a call may be, an ambulance, a fire, or something, and that we can respond. A lot of those buttons you see in the back are for the doors. We can open and close the doors to the fire station from sitting right here. And as you can see with this picture, apparently a call has come in and JR is letting communications know and the fire station personnel know that we're ready to roll. He's barking as loudly as he can to get everybody to get ready to go out on the fire call. And then he turns around and he talks to the radio. He's talking on the radio to let communications know that we're ready to respond to the fire scene and provide assistance to the community and people who need our help. After every call, there's always the paperwork. We got to go to the office, sit down, and what you see in front of you, many of you may not recognize this, but this is a typewriter. Back in the olden days, when we would do a note or something, we had to type it on a piece of paper. Today, you just use a computer. But back in the day when Yogi was around, we had to use a typewriter, put a piece of paper in and type on a keyboard, and it would type on a piece of paper, and that would be our reports or documents that we used. As you can tell, in a fire station, we are usually there for 24 hours. That means that we got to go to the bathroom there, and that's a little bit of privacy here, but that's JR going to the bathroom. We only showed him from the belly button up, and that's JR coming out of the shower. As JR came out of that shower on that particular day, he saw me standing there with the camera, and he said he's not going to come out without clothes on, so he backed up and came out with a towel draped over him for privacy reasons. Had to brush his teeth, had to shave, comb his hair, and that's JR standing at the bathroom sink, cleaning himself up and making himself look rather handsome. He just put on some aftershave, and you can tell just by his action it is burning him. So he's probably not going to try aftershave anytime in the future. Well, the day has been long, and I've taken you through a tour of our fire station, and it's a pleasure to have you here. We're going to sleep because we're going to be here overnight. We don't get off until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I've made my bed, and I've laid down in it, and I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And I hope you all enjoy the tour. And I hope you all have a safe evening and hopefully come back to see us again. Have a great day.